Hello, welcome to Spotlight on Souris. My name's Laura Higgs, and today we have with us Brett Phillips, who's here to talk to us about the Southwest AAA Bantam Cougars. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Absolutely.
Now, I want to ask you a few questions about this hockey team. I don't know lots about hockey, but I'm learning
right.
as I interview people about these different sports. I'm learning a little bit, but where is the team based out of?
So for the past couple of weeks, we've been based out of Souris just because Hartney, our other home base, hasn't had the ice in. So starting next week, actually, we'll start going back to our normal Tuesdays here in Souris and Thursdays in Hartney, and then we spread out some games throughout the region just so most towns get to
region southwestern Manitoba, basically.
Yes. So we range right from Virden is probably our farthest that way, all the way over to Carberry and then south. So lots of little towns throughout the way that we have some kids from.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what age group are we talking about?
So this is Bantam, so this is U15, so this will be 13 and 14-year-olds now, and going to be 14, 15-year-olds.
Okay, U15, okay. And now where do all your players come from?
So as I kind of said, we have quite a range. We've got some Virden, we've got a couple Souris, we have a Waskata, Boisvane, Killarney, Carberry, Glenborough. We're kind of
all in southwestern Manitoba,
basically.
basically.
Yeah, all over the place.
Did they ever get a chance at that age to go outside of their division and play a tournament or?
Yeah, so that's basically what we do. So we are the Southwest region. We go all over the place and play.
Oh my goodness.
The Yellowhead region, which can be the Shoal Lake, Nipawa area, the Parklands, which is into Russell. There's 9 Winnipeg teams that we play.
Oh.
We actually have a trip the last weekend of the year in February. We go up to the Paw and play Norman. So we travel all across the province.
So you do your practice, everybody comes to your 2 home base and you do all your practices here, and then you go outside for our tournaments.
Pretty much every weekend from now, starting this weekend coming up through February, end of February really, we'll be on the road somewhere, and with some home games in there obviously, but all over the province.
Wow. And do you guys go in like vans or tour bus or what do you?
So for some of those longer trips, like especially the one to the Paw, we'll take a bus. Some of the trips to Winnipeg, if we're in there for, say, a Saturday night game, we play Sunday morning, we'll bus in, we'll play the game, we'll stay at a hotel, and then bus to the game on Sunday, and then bus home.
Yeah, okay. But otherwise, you take smaller vehicles and meet
try and do
places.
as much carpooling as we can for kids from the same town, and coaches as much as we can.
Okay, so how many returning players do you have on the team then?
So we have 4 returning. We have 2 here from Souris, and then 1 from Glenborough, and the other from... Geez, pardon me. I'm blanking completely on who else we've got.
That's okay. It'll come to you.
Yeah, it'll come to me.
And so you're their coach?
Yes, I'm the coach. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
and that's a big word, actually. I've learned this recently. Coach. It's not just coach, and you go and do hockey. There's a lot of other things involved in that.
Yes, there is. So there's a lot more planning. I've been the assistant coach for the past couple of years, so I stepped into the head coaching role this year. So I'm starting to learn that there's a lot more than just drawing up, stepping out of practice and running a practice. There's a lot more to it. So.
Because I think, if I got this right, I mean, sometimes you're a parent, sometimes you're a bit of a disciplinarian, then you're a schedule keeper, and then you're also a problem solver. Like, there's so many more things involved in coaching hockey.
There's a lot of things to do, and especially at this age, and you need to make sure you're cognizant of their schoolwork, their family life, their hockey. Like there's a lot going into it, so you have to. It's a bit of a balancing act.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So that's the thing. If it's U15, so you're 13, 14. So you only really have these youngsters for 2 years.
At most, you have them for 2 years. Like I said, we have the 4 returning. It was one when he said.
There you go.
I was thinking of. So we have 4 carrying over that I dealt with last year and had them and had some good success with, and they carry over into this year, and we have 5 minors this year, so 5 potential to come back with us next year. So it's not a big overlap. There's a lot of turnaround in this age group.
Absolutely,
for sure.
Absolutely. How many on the team then?
So we take 18. So we'll have 10 forwards, 6 defensemen, and 2 goalies. So for a total of 18.
18. Mm-hmm. Okay. So if you only have 4 that you already know, you also have this time where you're getting to know these new names and faces and parents and families.
So we had 44 kids try out, and then we trimmed down to a preseason roster, and now we got, as of Saturday night, went to our team. So I'm still learning the kids' faces, and we had a parent meeting there yesterday night, and I said to the parents, I'm still learning your sons. It's going to take me a while to learn all your faces as well. Yeah. Just bear with me because it can take a while.
Yeah, absolutely. And every year different. That's going to be interesting. So how many games are you going to play this season?
So we play 34 league games.
Okay.
Plus, we go to what's called the Winnipeg Jets tournament in Winnipeg in the end of November, and then there's playoffs at the end of that. So it could, and plus the exhibition games we end up in there, it can be somewhere around the 50 game mark.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a lot. It's a long haul.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. That's a lot of games for that age group. Okay, so what are the expectations for this year?
So in this region, we are one of the smaller regions in the league, really. You look at centers like Winnipeg and Brandon, the amount of kids they have to pull from, and the amount of kids we have to pull from.
Right.
Really, our expectations from the coaching staff is to go out and compete every game. Like, realistically, that's all we can ask for. We don't expect every kid to go out there and score 10 goals a game. We want them to work hard and try and win as many as we can. But really, the main point of this team is to develop them, because we want to make them into the best players they can be they move into that next age group in the midgets, and then
Right.
they move on to hopefully the MJ and some WHL, and who knows, maybe we have an NHLer in the
Yeah,
midst
that's
of
right.
us, right?
That's right.
That's the goal, is just to hopefully develop them into some better players.
But I think it develops them as human beings too.
That
Because the discipline that goes in and everything that goes into playing on this team is good for life, isn't it?
I think so. I mean, I was a part of the U18 program for a number of years, and that was something that was really drilled into my head was, we want good players, but we want great people. And so it's building those team building skills, those communication skills, all those
Right.
good things that you need later on in life.
Yeah.
Being able to sit down in front of a coach is just like sitting down at a job interview and being able to talk to somebody across the table.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And parenting, when it comes time to parent, when it comes time for them to be coaches with
That's
their
right.
kids' teams and
Exactly.
such, I think it really preps these kids for life,
Yeah.
not just hockey. But we hope that we get some really good players out of it,
That's
of
the
course.
goal, right? But we
Of
also,
course.
we want everybody to have fun. That's the main thing. Hockey should be fun, especially at this
Yes,
age. Make sure
yeah,
everybody's having fun.
yes, absolutely. I don't
Yeah.
think you can push them too hard. I think
No.
they need to move as their life is moving. They need to move forward. And when they get that itch to be a better player, when they get that itch to be a better person, it's can make you feel kind of proud.
It can be quite rewarding at the end of the year to watch, how much they've grown. So you get to know them in September, and you spend 4 days a week with them for 6 months. Like, the amount they grow and they come out of their shell, and you can see them develop as a person. It is quite cool to see at the end of the year.
Yeah, I bet. Okay, so what are you most looking forward to this year? Is there a big event or?
The Jets tournament is always very, very fun. Getting
Yeah,
to go.
I bet.
So actually, there's two. We have a showcase in Winnipeg. It'll be next weekend, weekend of October 7th, 8th, 9th. We go to Winnipeg with every team in the league. We all play out of one rink or one building that has 4 ice surfaces, and we get to see basically every team from across the province all in one spot and play in that and compete. And there's a lot of people watching, and it's a fun event for the kids to go to, and especially early in the year, where these
Yeah.
kids from all over the place and haven't had a chance to play with each other maybe in the past. And so you go to Winnipeg for the weekend, you get to have some fun, stay in the hotel, and the kids kind
But
of get to
networking.
bond. Exactly.
Networking, too.
There's a ton of that. The kids get to have a blast and stay in the hotel and kind of have their first experience so for a lot of them as a AAA player, and wearing a Cougar jacket for the first time,
Yeah.
and little things like that where they get to experience that. And then the Jets one, obviously being associated with the Winnipeg Jets is a cool thing. When you're a
Yeah.
hockey player, that's what we all dreamed of doing, right? So
Yeah.
to be able to play in a tournament like that, and hopefully they've been in the past, whether there's a player there that they get to take pictures with or get an autograph or something like that. There's a lot
Pretty
of things
exciting.
like that. Yeah, exactly.
For sure. Okay. So, we talked about how many players made the team. So 18 once you
18.
honed them down. You got
Yes.
18. So that's a big group. And these guys, my understanding is they bond and they become very close, and some are friends forever.
That's absolutely true, actually. I just remember from my U18 days, actually, the head coach of the U18 team is a former teammate of mine, and we've been friends for years since we played hockey together, and we wouldn't have known each other without
Right.
that connection, right? So you form some relationships, because, if you think about it, you make it as a minor here, you play another year with them, you can move right to the U18 and play 3 more years with them. Like, there's 5 years of your life when you're 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Like, you can form bonds for life over in
Yes.
that dressing room, and not just on the ice. It's all the stuff that's you get into the rink before practice and having a laugh in the dressing room and carpooling to games and all those things that
And watching people go through some tough changes, because that's
Yeah.
a tough age.
Yeah, it is, and that's the unfortunate part with the cuts and things like that, is guys you've played your first 10 years with, you're no longer on the same team, but you form those new relationships with guys maybe you didn't know yet, or maybe you sort of knew. So it is a difficult thing, but I'm happy with the team we have, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun along the way, which
Good.
is really important.
Good. Well, that sounds like a great year
Yeah.
is ahead. And so you've given us your schedule, and we can post that as well on our
Absolutely. Yep.
PSAs and let the community know when to show up to
Great, that would
some
be
of your
great. We
games.
would greatly appreciate it.
That'd
Yep.
be good.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Brett, for coming in and sharing that with
You're
us. I
welcome.
really appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you for joining us here at Spotlight on Service. I hope that you have a great day.